Okay, so welcome to the WolfCast, and today we have the traffic captain, Andy, a character I love in the industry. Andy, what's up?
Make some noise. How are you people?
You always bring lots of good energy, and I love it. Let the people who still don't know you or probably saw you and don't know what you're all about, give us some info, like a 30-second background thing about you.
Okay, I was a young boy traveling the world, coming back to Germany, had no chance for a normal job, so I started in the adult industry. I was a license dealer for adult entertainment movies. Then I switched to the internet like 2003, had my first adult DVD online shop. Then I moved to Sex Goes Mobile. Then I joined the Traffic Partner Group. And now I with Creator Traffic also. We have Fuckbook, we have dating sites, dating leads, Grand Slam Media. So I'm always in the adult industry by accident, and I do it for 23 years. And I enjoy it.
Well, people can see that you enjoy it because I mean, your energy is something that you really can't hide. And once you're exposed to it, it's infectious. So I love it. And honestly, I thought about this podcast and interview, like a talk that we're doing now. And the reason I really like this talk is that I don't think that you and I, as just like people around the world, would have ever met if it wasn't for this industry. You know what I mean? We're so different in how we look, and like, you know, I'm Jewish. I'm a Jewish guy from Israel in terms of age, in terms of like. And to me, like from the outside, you always looked like this super aggressive and blunt and in your face kind of guy. And when I got to meet you, I saw you in such a good light, and I immediately understood like why people liked you. And by the way, it's one thing for me to like someone. It's not a small thing, but it's one thing, and it's another thing to respect someone and wanting to learn from someone. And I'm not just talking about the technical stuff. Of course, you know that's obvious, but I'm also talking about being coachable. Like when you gave me some input, I immediately received that, which I don't think lots of other guys, other guys would have maybe accepted it as, you coming at me or something like that. And I think you really need to respect someone and see someone in a specific light in order to, receive something like that from a guy, from another guy.
Yeah. But it's the same for me. When I started in the industry, my first mentor was a 60 years old guy, Riccardo Billi from Italy. He was a legend in 35 millimeters adult movies, and I was the young boy. And it's in our industry, the online marketing, you have super different characters from all over the world, but we all are different because we choose that life to be a digital nomad, to do a job on ourselves. We are always on, like I always say, Vollgas. So we put the foot to the pedal. We want to go with full energy and make a different life. And these basics brings us together. And you see, especially now with the war in Ukraine and Russia, in our industry, that is no thing. We sit on the boat having a nice party and business discussion. And I'm from Germany, you're from Israel, there's a guy from Russia, US, from Ukraine, from all over the world. And we don't care about the politics and the conventions. And we have gay people and we have hetero people. We have everything in our industry because it's a special kind of people in our industry. I think that's the big difference.
Well, I think it's a special kind of industry, and I thought about it. If they took you or me and put us in like a medical convention or like a electronics convention, we would fall asleep. Because it's like we're used to such an intensive kind of like conference and drinks, and it's very intense, and it's an industry where even probably the poorest person has lots of money. So it's like a mix of everything, and I think it's very interesting, definitely. And yes, I have to say, up to this year, I haven't encountered any kind of like politics or anything regarding religion and stuff like that. But this year I've got some weird messages from people who have been to affiliate world, people who saw me on stage and they started writing some stuff about Israel and how they can fuck Israel in like 15 minutes and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's like kind of like a specific thing, but I really hope that that kind of thing doesn't enter the industry.
Yeah, but it's like you were on stage at the affiliate world. So you, for sure, you have people that are jealous. And what I always, because, you know, I was always in the rap music and stuff, we say, I always said, haters make me famous, you know? Fuck, if you don't like me, but you talk about me, it's good. Talk about me. I don't give a shit of you, you know? So, and of course, you know, when people, I'm from Germany and people starts to talk about me like Nazi and Hitler and stuff like this, I always say, hey, come on, it's 25 years before even I was born. What do you want to talk about?
What do you want from me?
And on the other side is what my mentor taught me. There's always, in business, don't speak about religion, don't speak about politics, and not about football, because soccer is also, you know,
soccer is like a religion for some people.
Exactly. So when I'm on a show, I never talk about this. I talk about myself, because it's beside the company or the product I'm branding or selling right now. It was always me. That's also why I have the name The Captain, you know, with all my different companies and products, which are changing with the time. It was always me. So I talk about me, my travels, my scuba diving, my videos, my kids, my, you know, it's me and not the German population at all.
Let me ask you that. So I see you as someone who really cracked personal branding. Like when it comes to personal branding, it's big. I don't believe that's a part of why I called myself the Wolf, because I don't think lots of people remember your name, but they definitely remember the Captain or Andy the Captain and stuff like that. So I see you as someone who really cracked and really understands personal branding, being at a lot of conferences, and you take who you are physically from the inside and out, and you build a brand around it. So first of all, how important do you think it is to build a personal brand, and where do you see it benefits you?
Well, especially I see this right now. You know, we have now creatortraffic.com, which is a new product where we sell traffic to OnlyFans models and agencies. And this product is only like 2 or 3 months now in the market. But because of my branding and my network, I can spread the word in seconds. And only in the last 3 months, we got 250 clients buying traffic from us. I brought a startup in 3 months to a profitable company already. And this is because, first, the branding, it's not only the captain. There's, you know, there's some things like the captain's word is law, and the captain's never cheat on his people, or, you know, it's the personal branding means also that all my different businesses, I never fucked up anybody. There's nobody who can say I didn't pay him out or whatever. And so the trust I get from the past, from my past projects or from my other existing business, it's me, and that means you can trust me. So the trust I get from the past, I can easily bring in something new. And imagine you are absolutely new and you say, hey, I sell traffic. And like now, for example, our CPC price is about 40 cents. If somebody new comes to you and say, hey, I have high quality traffic for 40 cents, you will say, who is that guy? And oh, the price is high and he's a liar, blah, blah, blah. But when, oh, Andy, Captain, yeah, okay, if the traffic is good, okay, I buy it. So the trust from the past, bringing in the new area, that's what branding means for me. And then on the personal, you know, imagine I need to have a new job and I take my brand with me, you know. I think it never happens, but if I should work now for another company, then I would take my brand with me. On the other side, like you said, the Wolf, when I started SGM like 2010, I said, I'm the Wolf of mobile because, you know, the Wolf of Wall Street. And I said, I'm the Wolf because we were super aggressive and I was selling like the penny checks. So it's good to make branding. I next time I see you, I have some beanies with the wolf on it. I will search for them, bring it to
you'll remember. Oh, that's very interesting. I think it helps when your name is very you know, solid and you don't have anyone saying that you fucked them up. But I have to say that I've been in the industry for 13 years now, and when people also don't hate on someone and someone is a consensus, I'm also kind of like reluctant, because I don't see that as, you know, being something real. I think someone who is speaking the truth and being authentic, you'll have people connecting with them, and you have people that are completely disgusted by them. And, you know, I don't think that someone can get along with everyone, you know, at the end.
Well, I think behind my neck, behind my back, somebody will say, "Ah, this arrogant fucking captain." I'm sure there's some haters, but like I said before, you know, haters make me famous. So
Yeah.
talk about me. As long as you talk about me, all is good.
So I have a question. I browsed Netflix a couple of days ago before I approached you and said, okay, let's do this thing. And I saw that there is a new a movie about Pornhub and stuff like that. And I said, okay, I gotta get Andy's input on this one. And there's always like, I'm sure there is stuff in Israel, and there is stuff on Facebook, and there is stuff on YouTube. And it's kind of like, you know, two sides. When we're talking about OnlyFans now, and you said you have that new project that sends traffic to OnlyFans and an agency and stuff, and I'm like thinking, okay, so half of the girls, or I don't know how, like some of the girls, they say it's a perfect way to make money. We monetize our content. At the end of the day, we're content creators. The other half are saying, you know, people are asking us to do horrible things, and we can't get. It's the new prostitution, kind of like. And I wanted to ask you, like, there is this whole woke movement, how it is impacting you personally, not the business, you know, like, did you ever had like second thoughts on how morally you're, you know, what you're doing, taking part in this, or like, how do you feel about that?
Well, first, if I see the adult entertainment in the last 23 years, when I started, we had on the set, we had girls. They got one time $300 or $500 in Eastern Europe. They made their scenes. We created a DVD and we made the money, and the girl got a one-time payment. And she was always depending that I say, okay, I book you again. So, and she was only shooting when I was booking her. So the model, the content creator, was depending on the production company. And she got a one-time fee and how much money, whatever the company makes out of it. If you see these days, there are so many models in the cam business and on OnlyFans, they make a big amount of money. I know models, they make easy 30,000. There's models, they make 50,000. So it's a huge amount of money. Second, they can shoot every day when they want. They can shoot in their vacation. They can do whatever they want. And what I do a lot of webinars for models where I do coaching, especially for new models. And I always tell them, the first rule is you're your own boss. You only do what you want. You know your limits. If a client was something you don't want, then don't do it. Why you should? You know, there's enough men outside that you can do stuff that they like. And the better your niche, your personal fantasies, because I have even models, they started, and I don't speak about the beautiful bikini girl. I talk about models, they are 30 or 40 years old, housewives and whatever. They discover their sexuality through the cam, because when they concentrate on things they only want, then it's no pressure on it. And of course, the difference when you say something was prostitution, this means prostitution is you have to have real sex. You have to meet with somebody, you have
No,
body
of course, I'm not
contact
talking
and
about
stuff.
real prostitution. I'm just saying some girls, you know, they picture it as if. I mean, my point of view on this is that I think that the big plus when there were studios, or the only way to monetize your content was through studios, I think that there was a big due diligence process. So if someone wasn't really psychologically fit to do it, the guy that would stand behind the camera or the producer would stop it all, you know, and they would reject the girl. And now lots of women that are psychologically maybe unstable, they go and they do it, and they're not the right fit to be in the industry.
Yeah, that's a dream fantasy. You know, producers, when the girl is on set and you paid for the location and you paid for the camera team and everything, there was nobody asking if she's psychologically well, you know. It was, now we are live and action. So, of course, but this problem, what you're talking about, it's not only in the adult entertainment. The whole thing of TikTok and Instagram and social media. How many young women, they feel ugly because they see all the photoshopped and filtered pictures of celebrities. And if for me, it's more dangerous if the Kardashians shows their plastic fat asses on Instagram, and all the girls and young girls want to have these fat plastic ass like the Kardashians. This is for me more dangerous, because if a girl goes to OnlyFans, she knows what she's doing, and most of them, they are not 18 or 19, they are 25 and above, so they are more stable persons. I think the biggest problem with social media in general, because even Instagram, Twitter, TikTok is all some kind of sexualized, you know, the duck face, the boobs, there's so
every time I open up my TikTok, it's ass, tits.
But there you have girls and boys, they're like 14, 15, 16, 17s, and they still don't have the self-confidence, and they see always the other examples. So this influence on them is way more worse than a professional lady that she does OnlyFans.
All right, let me ask you something like that. So I'm writing a book. I don't know if I told you, if you remember, but some parts of the book is kind of like I'm trying to help people to choose which conference they need to go to in terms of how to start inside the industry and stuff like that. And you know, writing this book is going through a psychological kind of like process and stuff like that. And I think that you're probably in the top 1% in terms of people who go to conferences. And I'm thinking like you're going to so many shows, you're everywhere. So how do you manage to mix the personal life and work? Like, I know your kids are now grown up, but still, you don't think that you're like missing something? And, you know, also, do you go to any of the smaller shows or just the big ones? Because I think every time I see you, except from Clickbait, which it's kind of like a smaller family. It's not even an event, you know?
Yeah, well, the point is, of course, when my children were smaller, especially when they were very small, like between 1 and 6, I was not traveling a lot. I was already working from home in these times. And I was, even the nice thing on online working, I was working mostly at night. So in the daytime, I had a lot of time with my children. When I sold my first company, Sexy House, I went even back to Venezuela for 3 years, was already retired with 27, and was teaching my children to swim, to dive, to fish. So it's a different stage. Now my children are over 20, and they are also working in the adult, in the online marketing industry. My son is a developer. My daughter makes social media management. So if you see this, of course, it have an impact, because I call this more the rock star syndrome. When I come back from a show and I'm sitting here in Bremen, I got, and the last days I was on fire from morning till night, you know, because on our shows, in the day you're on your booth, then you have a dinner, and then you go on a party next morning. So it's some kind of rock star life. And then when I come home, I need to learn to slow down. And especially when we had the COVID pandemic, I was, the last 3 months before COVID came, I was in Manila, I was in Bangkok, I was in Taiwan, I was in Las Vegas, I was in Lisbon, and I was in Colombia. And then I came home and they say, hey, you need to stay home. So I had this was really like, oh, I feel like in prison. But over the years, I learned how to handle it. And also important is with the shows that you arrive 1 or 2 days earlier and perhaps stay a little bit longer. For example, after the Bangkok show, I did my dive master stuff like this. On the other side, with the shows, I do 25 shows around the year. So I start always in January. I do the ABN, I do the XBIZ, X3. I did a lot of the LAL Expo in Colombia. I do the TES. Then I do Clickbait. I do the AW Summit in Bucharest, the Bucharest Summit.
So it's like 50% stuff that has to do with the dating industry and 50% stuff that are more generic, but also has the dating stuff inside.
Yes, because of course, Traffic Partner, we have adult dating, but we have also mainstream dating. We have also apps in the Google Play Store and stuff like this. It's stupid to separate the words. And I think it was like 6 or 7 years ago in Vegas where I broke the wall between the adult and the mainstream industry. There was the Affiliate Summit in Vegas, and at the same time it was the Internext in Vegas. And the both groups never had contact with each other. And I had a concert. I organized a concert with DMX in Cypress Hill on stage, in the Internext area. So I went over to the Affiliate Summit. Somebody gave me a free pass, so I went there, and people were like, "Oh, the duel." But then they heard, "Oh, this guy have a party with Be Real in Cypress Hill and stuff like this." So everybody wanted to join over. And since then, we have also boost on the Affiliate Summit, and we do to the Affiliate World. So now it's a really crossover business.
Yeah, I love it when things connect. But you know, the past, I would say, okay, so I've been hardcore going to these conferences ever since 2017, let's say, something like that. And for me, like the past 1.5, 2 years, I find it very hard sometimes to, you know, get into the work momentum once I'm back, because it is kind of like a rock star kind of like life. And I'm trying to think, like you're saying 25 shows, and I'm trying to think why 25, why not 15, why not 10, why not 50? You know, where is the right ratio between what you gain, you know, from going to these shows, and you know, where at the point inside the graph where it's not really worth it, because it's, you know, overlapping in terms of the audience at the end of the day. You know, so why did you decide
of course,
shows?
Of course. But you need to see this. I'm a CMO, I'm a branding ambassador, and I have a great team with my sales team, my affiliate managers. It's a little bit different, like perhaps in your position. For me, is when I come back from the show, I have a big team behind me that helps me to convert all my new contacts into business. And of course, you could say instead of 25 shows, do only 15, and it perhaps would work also. But it's also my personal hobby. I like to travel. And on every show, you meet some people you never saw before, because they're new people or people, local people, because my shows are around the world. So if I only go to the affiliate worlds in Bangkok and Barcelona and Dubai, which are so huge, even if I walk the whole day through the show, I could not meet all the 5,000 people. It's only time-wise. How you want to meet everybody. So I like the smaller shows. One of the best shows for me, it's always the TES in Prague and Lisbon, or Cascais. Of course, it's more adult related, but it's still a mix of people, and it's 1,000 people in one hotel. So you go with the elevator down, you meet already people on the breakfast, you meet people on the show floor, you meet people in the dinner. So I think the kind they do, the affiliate world shows, they are especially good for all these new affiliate managers.
And do you see these like networking skills right now? The way I see you, I think that you're probably a 10 out of 10 in terms of networking, because just imagine the amount of just experience and hours just networking. It's crazy. Like, so how do you see that impact the rest of your life, like other places in your life and stuff?
Well, let's say in the last 20 years, I made like 500 shows around this. And of course, it's not only learning. You need to have, I have the character, you know. I'm loud, I'm full of energy, I like to be on stage, I grab the mic, and it's some kind of my character to be a networker. And even before I started this industry, I was managing concerts, I was managing clubs, I was working in a hotel. So it's
always
all
around people.
Yeah, always around people, especially in different verticals. And if I do the shows, my network is growing, and a lot of people I never do business with. But you know, the 6 degrees of separation, or 7 degrees. You know, somebody knows somebody that knows somebody, and if I need something, I can ask at least 10 people, and then I have the right connections. So the networking is not concentrated for the direct sale or the direct business. It's more, the more people I know, and also I do a lot of favors to other people. You know, a lot of people ask me, "Oh, Andy, do you know somebody there?" And so
Because they
one
know that
hand,
you probably know, or at
yeah,
least know
exactly.
someone who knows. But
And
so
then it's one hand wash the others.
let me ask you something that scares me. So you know, for me, my life is very different. I don't know if it's the same with you, but so when I'm like traveling, when I'm in affiliate world, Bangkok, or when I'm in Barcelona, or when I'm doing clickbait with you on a boat in Ibiza, and I'm like seasick. So I'm like, I'm having a blast and I'm drinking and I'm going to lots of parties and I'm talking to lots of people and meeting. And then when I come back home, it's like, you know, it's the same fucking, you know, buying media again, uploading content, helping people, you know, taking out the dog. And, you know, it's very hard. It's like driving a Lamborghini, you know, at the sixth gear, and then you have to slow down, be on neutral. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I know, I personally know at least 3 or 4 people that have, in my opinion, gotten mad, like they went crazy just because it's so hard to, it's like a roller coaster but on steroids. So
Yeah.
how do you actually manage it, and what would happen in like 5 years, what would happen in 6 years, 10 years, when you know you're you know you've grown out of like going to these conferences and you've had enough?
Yeah, well, there's already some changes. If you know the captain 10 years ago on the shows, I was the craziest motherfucker on planet, you know?
More than what I've seen now.
Yeah, way more, way more, way more. So, first thing is when I go now to a show instead of before, when 10 years ago, I made party for 3, 4 days and networking all together. And when I came home, I had like a little burnout. I needed at least 2, 3 days to come back on my feet. Right now, I only do one party. Also, I mean, real party. You know, every day you have some drinks and talk, but real party, I only do one party per show, and it should be the last day of the show, not the first day. That's the biggest mistake, because it's like, you know, it's like a classmate meeting. Everybody comes together and then they fuck up already the first night. And before the show, you see everybody, oh yeah, so happy,
Yeah.
stuff like this. So yeah, do only one party per show and try to do it the last days, not the first days. Then arrive early, 1 or 2 days earlier before the show, especially if there's a time difference for the jet lag. And if you can, for example, for me, it's always after a show, because I'm talking to so many people, my head is full. At least I want 2, 3 days where I go in a nice nature place alone.
Definitely, I understand what you mean. Definitely,
Yeah.
because you have to clean your head from talking to you're engaging in so many, like, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And then when you do, you know, you arrive early, you do the show, you do only one party and make your business. Then you take 2, 3, 4 days to relax. And when you fly home, then you already reflected all your networking from the show, and your body and soul is relaxed from the 4 days as you went to the nature. For me, nature means mostly on the beach or scuba diving.
Mm-hmm.
And when I come home, then I'm full of energy because I had the input from the show, I have the relaxed from the nature, and then I'm ready to rumble for the
Well,
business.
I think that you can really see that people that are newer or newbies or amateur when it comes to going to these conferences, they have a very faster burnout. They don't rest in between, you know, the events and stuff like that. And I don't think they have a strategy. And I think it's like a sport, you know, going to these events. If you really want to maximize, whether it's networking, whether it's even partying and having fun, if you really want to maximize, you really need to have a strategy.
Yeah, you see, when I arrive on a show, well, I have natural energy always, but when you see me when I come to a show, the first days I'm so loaded. You know, it's like you say, it's like sport. I prepare myself the week before I go on the show. No drinks. I do sport. I go swimming. I concentrate myself. I prepare myself, and when I'm done on the show, then it's bang, let's go. You know, and but important for me, it's also after the show. Because especially what you mentioned before, when you have family, imagine you always come back directly from the show, you come home, your family is waiting for you, and you come home, oh, I only want to sleep, or you're out of burnout. So it's better to stay 2 or 3 days longer away from home. But then when you come home, you come with a smile on the face and you bring some presents to the family and some love and some energy. So that's way better.
Okay, Andy, give us some info in terms of if people want to contact you, if people want to see more, where can they do it?
Well, the easiest way, you know, these days, Telegram. So it's at Traffic Captain on Telegram. It's easy to reach me. And if you don't have Telegram and you want to look, you only need to put Andy Wullmer in Google. You will find me. There's no way you will not find me.
You can't miss it with that name.
Yeah.
Okay, brother.
And of course, especially if you really want to know about my life, when the Corona pandemic started, I finally had the time to upload all my videos on my YouTube channel, the Traffic Captain on YouTube. And there you can see interviews, you can see my adventures, my scuba diving, you see videos from shows, you see videos from parties. I have there more than 170 videos already from the last 10 years or something.
That's crazy. And it's amazing that you found the time to really organize everything in one channel. I think it's also good for you to have it, you know, just organized on online. Anyways, dude, I really love you, and I think you know that I love you, and I appreciate that you're being in my life and suffering through the weirdness that I am sometimes at conferences. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, it's what's your age? 25?
No, 34.
34 already. Oh,
I'm just short. I'm not young. I'm older than you think.
Yeah, well, you look young. Well, I'm 50 now. So imagine you go on the road for the next 16 years. You will have your way how to handle all the shows, how to come back, how to to stay healthy, mentally healthy, and to make business.
Yeah.
Be the Lamborghini, but that's, you know, I drive a BMW X6M. And I have automatic, and that's what I do in my life too. I don't go from the 6 gear to 1. I have an automatic. So you need to chill in and chill out.
That's a very good tip. That's a very good tip. And I love you and appreciate you being a part of this podcast. And thank you so much, Andy.
Yeah, make some noise. Goodbye, everybody. And click the subscribe button here for this podcast. I'm sure there's more coming.